absolutely ready.
You're recording, I don't know.
Yes?
Yep,
Ready?
you're good to go.
Okay. Welcome to the Franklin Conservation Commission meeting for September 5th, 2024 in the brand new renovated Town Council chambers. And so we will open the first public hearing for 15 Liberty Way. Do we have anyone online? There's no one in chambers. Oh, wait, sorry. Roll call. I always forget. Roll call.
Richard Johnson's here.
Louis Puga's here.
Michael Ryan.
Mark LePage.
Jeff Limstone.
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sharamonte.
Thank you very much. Okay, now opening the hearing for 15 Liberty Way. Is there anyone here or online for 15 Liberty Way?
Yes, sir. It is Chris online.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Chris.
Okay, will you have any updates for us, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. So, since the last time we spoke, well, I guess for the record, my name is Chris Frateroli. I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting. Since the last time we spoke, we received peer review comments from Beta. We put together a package of responses to those comments. Those were submitted to you about a week ago. And I think, and I hope at this point that we have largely satisfied everything that's been requested by Beta. There's a couple of administrative things that we're still holding out on. We're happy to provide, but wanted to essentially make sure that we were in a good place here before issuing a new stamped plan set for the umpteenth time. So I just wanted to basically present all this information to you and get any feedback you may have, see if there's anything else that you'd like to see addressed more specifically, and otherwise I think we should be pretty close to the finish line here. So with that being said, I guess I can go down the list of Beta's comments. We can hit the high notes, or I can just take questions. I'll leave that up to you folks.
Well, I think one or two, is there anything, do you have a preference? I mean, I would just hit the high notes, basically.
High notes, I
Yeah.
am still in my review. It came after our noon deadline.
Okay.
And then with the holiday, I haven't yet
Right.
had a time to fully dive
Okay.
into it.
So, yeah, so if you could just basically hit the high notes, that'd be great, because obviously we're still under review.
Sure thing. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple kind of administrative comments that I think didn't really warrant much of a response. I provided some additional information about the filing procedure with this kind of resubmitted NOI, confirmed that, you know, we re-notified a butters, replaced the legal ad, all those types of things. Just some notes about some additional things that we know that we have coming down the pipeline. We need coverage under from the EPA under a CGP and a SWIP. Those things are all well and good. We're well aware. I guess a couple of the more substantive comments. One was referring to calculations of impervious cover in the 50 to 100 foot buffer zone. So we ran some numbers. We've got about 17% impervious cover in that 50 to 100 foot buffer zone. So I think we are all well and good there. We're below that 30% threshold that your bylaw sets forth. There is a portion of silt fence proposed, and I know that the commission is usually not fond of silt fence, but in this case, it's being used not as an erosion control barrier around the site as a whole. It's being used to demarcate the infiltration basin to prevent any future encroachment into there during the construction period, because compaction of those soils, you know, effectively renders that infiltration basin less functional than it would be otherwise. So if we have your blessing there.
It's literally a fence. I mean, a fence, really, for the most part.
Well, this is just for during construction. It is your typical silt fence, but it's just around.
It's really, as you said, a barrier, just a fence. It's really just
Correct. Yep. So the site perimeter controls are wattles only. It's just a ring of silt fence around that infiltration basin for safekeeping there. Let's see.
Just to be clear, the reason why, which I think you know, is because people typically don't take them up and then they're there forever, and they just never go away, unlike the walls.
Absolutely.
Which, right, that's the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. So if, we'd be happy to accept the condition, just reiterating that that has to be removed. Let's see, we did not, at this last submittal, we did not submit revised landscape plans, because the intention is to just provide the same landscaping scheme essentially that had been submitted previously, scaled back to the new limit of work. So if we're okay with that, I think we can provide kind of a final landscape plan as part of the final plan set. But the intent will just be to do the same thing that we had proposed previously on a slightly smaller scale.
Do they have any problems with that? That sounds reasonable to me, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't have a problem. A fence is a fence.
The plans,
Yeah, landscape
the landscape plans. He's gonna use the same landscape plans for the vegetation.
Fine.
I think it's, sure. Okay, yes?
Let's see, there were a couple notes about providing names of responsible parties for contract or erosion control inspection. Project's not bid out yet, so we don't have those people locked in yet, but we're happy to provide those, as a condition prior to start of construction. There was a note about recommending that we show a stockpile or laydown area. It's not shown on the site plan as a location, but there are notes on the site plan specifying the stockpile should be outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, and they'll be stabilized and have erosion controls like you would like to see. So that is included in there. I guess kind of the last substantive comment here was regarding locating woody plants within the limit of work. And obviously we acknowledge that this is written in the bylaw, but it wasn't something that we had really thought about up to this point because it hadn't been a topic of conversation in the preceding year or so. So that wasn't something that we had done, and we were hoping that the commission might be okay with foregoing that requirement in this case, because we don't really believe that it's going to inform any other decisions here. The limit of work is clearly marked on the plans, and the vegetation in that area will be removed.
Yep. I think that's fine. Anybody have any?
No problem.
Let's see, is there anything else here I should hit? Yeah, there are a couple other minor administrative things, but I don't think anything that is going to be a make or break. But as of now, our intention is to kind of tidy all this up. We'll issue one, hopefully, final stamped plan set, and I think that we will be pretty much good to go here. Any other questions I can answer for the commission?
Anybody?
No.
No, thanks for going through it, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
No questions?
No?
Is there anyone online that has any questions about this project? Okay. No? Okay. Then
All right.
I'll take a motion to continue.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 15 Liberty Way to September 19th at 7:01.
Second.
Okay, votes, Richard?
Vote to continue.
Lou?
Vote to continue.
Continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Continued, gavel sound. Boing. Okay,
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Chris.
Beautiful. We'll put a bow on it, and we'll be back.
thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, without further ado, let's go to the next and last hearing for tonight, the NOI for 5 Oak Street. Is there anyone online for 5 Oak Street?
Oak tree, right?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
oak tree.
5 Oak Tree, yes.
Oak
Thank
tree.
Yes, I'm here. Karen Skinner Catroni.
you. Okay, thank you. Any updates for us?
So this is the first hearing we've had regarding this project.
Okay,
So would you like me to start the presentation, or
please, yes.
That'd be great.
can you put the plan up, or?
I'll have to share the screen.
Working on it.
Okay, I'll start while you're doing that. So the record, my name is Karen Scanicatroni, representing the owners of 5 Oak Tree Lane in Franklin. The project's located at, the project is located at 5 Oak Tree Lane. The owners are proposing the installation of an in-ground pool and patio. I flagged the site on 6/13/24, bordering vegetated wetlands were flagged in the rear and left side of the property. The pool is proposed outside the 50-foot buffer in existing lawn area. A construction sequence plan was submitted to the commission. We're proposing a straw wattle outside the 50-foot buffer as erosion control. The filter is proposed near the house outside the 100-foot buffer. This will be a cartridge filter, so backwash will not be required. There will be no stockpiling on the site. All excavated materials will be loaded onto a truck and taken off-site. There was one, do have a few changes that have been made since we submitted the application. So, there was one dogwood tree to propose to be removed. This tree will not be removed, it's gonna stay. And I think, maybe the pool company, the person that did the plan, calculated 600 and change for this disturbance area. I had an engineer look at it, he calculated it at 1344, that's why that discrepancy is in the, is on the comment sheet.
So the correct number is 1344, we should disregard the 612, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's with the patio. That's pool, patio, and disturbance.
Okay.
Okay, there's no riverfront area, natural heritage, or floodplain associated with the project. I do believe that the pool, the installer, the pool company is on the call tonight, so if you have any questions for either one of us, we'd be happy to answer them.
What is the erosion control situation?
Straw wattle. And I'm sorry, I didn't mention that we do have a DEP file number, and that is 159-1297, sorry.
Is the erosion, where are you gonna put the wattles on the plan?
So the wattles will be placed outside the 50-foot buffer, just at, probably at 60 feet, if we can do that. I don't know, Paul, are you here tonight? Can you talk to address that? I don't know how much room you'll need. Oh, maybe he's not here.
Can you see right there?
So that will be placed outside the 50-foot buffer, about between 55 and 60 feet.
So,
I can sketch that on the plan, and you can make that a condition if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, we'd have to, well, obviously, we're gonna need to know where the erosion controls are gonna go and what type they are, that they are on the plan, obviously. Just
Are
let
we
me
good
ask,
with straw wattles?
there's, yeah. Well, mulch,
If you would like something different, we'd be happy to
Yeah,
use,
we
if you like a
usually use
compost
mulch.
sock.
Yeah, we
Usually that's for
typically
mulch.
try and avoid the straw,
yeah,
right?
straw, because straw never leaves. It
That's a
stays
good
on.
idea, yeah, the compost sock is a much better product.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we'll use the compost sock,
okay, thanks. Yeah.
certainly.
Thanks, we can actually. Is there anything else, Brika?
Nope, so she touched on everything that I
Okay.
had in my agent report.
Okay,
I will need an updated plan, knowing this, I
Yeah.
can go back through my review now that I
Okay.
have some clarification on the discrepancies. And
Okay.
I imagine at the next meeting we'd be able.
okay, great, okay. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to continue because obviously the plan needs to be updated, needs to be reviewed against the comments that the agent had.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Anything else?
Correct.
Is there anyone online that has any comments or questions about the 5 Oak Tree project? No? Commissioners, anything else?
And when do we, oh, go ahead, Nicole.
I did have a question. I'm overly concerned about, so with the if the pool, if you have flooding or anything like that, what controls are going to be put into place to be able to protect the wetlands from the pool water?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? What will be in place to protect the,
The
Wetlands from the pool water? so there's gonna be, 65 feet of lawn between the wetland and the pool?
Right, but with the water, you have pH changes and whatnot that's gonna be absorbing into the soil, so that's going to eventually make its way to the wetlands. So my concern is anything in place to be able to prevent that? Like maybe plant something around that to uptake to help with the changes?
We can show that, I think you alluded to the fact that you were gonna continue this
Yeah.
to see a plan?
So,
So we'll show some plantings on the
well,
plan.
I think also, to Nicole's point, the question is, what is the grade? What is the grade between?
Grade's flat.
And, okay, see, so that's one thing. So you don't necessarily have drainage into the wetlands specifically. If you had a pool like up on the top, where you had maybe like something like this, then it would make a lot of sense to actually put even like a rain garden or something
Yeah.
like that on the back, right? So the question is, if you have flooding, does the grade sustain such that 65 yards or what, feet?
It does.
65, right, right.
It does.
So basically.
So in it,
Right, okay.
I'm sorry,
Good.
and there is vegetation, there's a wooded vegetated area between the pool and the wetland.
Okay, okay, good, okay, good.
Because on that same note, every fall, everybody lowers their pool level water. So where does all that go come fall?
Well, you have it pumped out.
So
Pumped out to
the,
America.
No, but you have to take it away. You have to take it away, you have to pump it on site.
the pool, the gentleman that owns the pool company is on, or the installer, I don't think he knows how to take himself off mute, speak.
Okay.
So,
Do you know the pool company name?
Paul, it's Paul?
The name of the company?
Oh, B&L Pools.
If I may, it's a 2-foot grade
Right.
change. Over about 50 feet, so it is shallow.
Okay. All right.
For context, a historical perspective of what the commission has done, so obviously.
Hello,
the single-
Karen?
Yep,
Yep,
Yeah,
you
we
want to
can
speak to
hear
the, you want to speak,
Karen?
you want to speak to the
finally-
chairman?
I finally figured it out.
Okay, great.
All right. I just heard the comment about lowering the water in the pool. Our pools do not get drained. Our operating level is the winter level. So the pool doesn't get drained in the wintertime, in the off-season.
okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions? I can answer any question. I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out how to get on to, I was watching and listening, but I couldn't chime in.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
No
I know
question.
Karen said, she mentioned that we're using a cartridge filter system, so there's no backwash discharge of water. We never leave, regardless of jobs that we do, we never leave material on site. Everything we dig, we haul out. We bring in our processed gravel to backfill around the pool itself, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So I did just want to provide a historical context, especially for some new commissioners, some regulatory perspectives, things of that nature. So this is not necessarily an exempt use under local bylaw or Wetlands Protection Act at all, which is why they're here filing in front of you. They are within the 50 to 100 feet under local bylaw and regulations. If it's between 25 and 50 feet, there's impervious pavement concerns, so they are outside of that.
We are,
You are
we are
outside.
using pervious
No,
pavers
you-
on it.
You are outside. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're outside.
I'm just
She's just.
teaching
she's-
at this
we have
point.
We have new commissioners. She's just going over
Yeah.
she's just going over some of the precedent, that's all.
single-family homes are exempt from stormwater. I imagine in the future that probably will change, considering all the other regulations and guidelines and things that are being put forth and, data. But I will say in Franklin, at least in my 2 years, and Jeff and Richard, please speak to prior years, for pool projects, we have had residents install rocks, large boulders, plantings, things of that nature, especially because they would like the landscaping alternatives of it, or aesthetics of it. But it's not something that you can legally enforce.
Right.
So you can ask. I'm not saying what's ethically or morally right or wrong, just what is legally your jurisdiction.
So basically what we're saying is that although there's no legal requirement for anything like a rain garden or additional plants or plantings around the pool site, above and beyond the gravel, right? From a conservation standpoint, it does provide for a potentially positive impact in the case of something like the flood or flooding. So that is just a note to the applicant, that would be looked upon favorably if they decided to incorporate such elements into their project, but not necessary.
Correct.
Understood.
Anything else?
Karen,
Yes?
I'm not sure if you heard, but we are using the square footage that I had given to Colonial Engineering for the 600, I think it was 650 square feet, was for pervious pavers. That's what's that's what's proposed for patio space around the pool.
Yes.
And I think Paul calculated the pool itself, and that's how he came up with his 13 and change, I think.
Yes. Okay. Understood.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. Okay, I've already asked online. So, see now. Okay. Okay, so we need, basically, we just got the DEP number, and they basically have to incorporate, the erosion controls into the plan, yes?
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So those are two things that we need to update for this project. So we do need to continue, so
Yeah.
I will take a motion.
I was just gonna say, we
Yeah.
need that by noon on,
Thursday.
Noon on
Next
Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah.
Next
noon
Thursday.
on the 12th, right?
Noon on the 12th, okay.
To be able to move forward on the
Yeah.
19th, just so you guys are
Right,
clear on that.
because there are submission deadlines.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, just,
Thank you, yes.
yeah, sure.
Thanks,
All
Mark.
right, with that, I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 5 Oak Tree to September 19th at 7:02.
Second,
Okay,
Continue.
Richard?
continue.
Okay, Lou?
Continue.
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Okay, continued, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Okay, that is the
You're welcome.
end
Have a-
of
Thank you. Bye.
end of the hearings for tonight. Now we'll move on to the minor buffer zone activities, the MBZA's. First up is for the one for 21 National Drive. Is there anyone here for 21 National Drive? Or online?
Hi,
Hi.
Honora with BSC Group. I am here.
Hi. Okay. Do you want to describe the project?
Sure. The Massachusetts Electric Company is proposing to replace a single pole within the 50-foot buffer and perform overhead maintenance at a pole within the 50 to 100-foot buffer. That includes installing a ground rod. The access is through the parking lot of True Green Lawn Care.
Okay.
So all vehicles will be within the parking lot, and then in terms of ground disturbance, just the installation of ground rod and the replacement of a single pole, I think approximately 4 square feet.
Okay. Any questions, Chris? Seems like a pretty standard project.
No, this is my wheelhouse.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but I worked for Ty and Bond, so I was I was your Cape Cod and Eastern Mass competitor. And James Rhines was my client, so he's the one who signed this, without promoting a bias by any means, but, no. This is exempt work under the Wetlands Protection Act, non-exempt, under local bylaw, and
Right.
purely de minimis in nature, so
Right, right, okay,
absolutely recommend approval.
okay, so if you could have a motion for approval.
I'll give you a motion to approve the MBZA for 21 National Drive.
Second,
Okay, Richard,
vote to approve.
move,
Approve.
Approve? Vote to approve.
approve,
Approve.
Approve.
it's approved, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that's, next one, we have a permit modification extension for Franklin Heights, CE 159-1260. This is to amend the previous phasing plans. Do we have anyone here from Franklin Heights?
Yes, DeShang is on Zoom.
Shane?
I do know that he said he was triple booked with Conservation Commission meetings today. So I don't know if he's
We-
on a different appliance
Oh,
presenting or not.
We talked about this in the original.
This is a
is he online or no?
different
We can't see.
request.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
Deshang.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, as Bricolage said, so I am on a couple of hearings tonight, and so this is, I just want to go quickly. So Bricolage, if you can help to bring up the plan I sent to you, or you need me to log in
I
to
have
bring
it.
up,
I got it.
yeah, if you can help to put up the plan for the phase markup.
Yeah, I just have to find it. I had it.
Great.
You won't see it on your screen, DeShang.
Yeah, it's okay. I can see on my computer screen.
Okay,
I'm just,
perfect.
it's just a little bit. Okay, so if you see the plan, let me see. So from the entrance coming in, I marked up like a green area. So the red line marked is the currently disturbed area and the walking zone. So under phase one, as we said, in short, is the phase plan when I was formulated was for a general guidance to minimize sediment erosion and not really know where exactly one phase will merge to the another, and also it's difficult to predict what can happen in the working process. So right now, phase one is pretty much almost completed. Today we get water and sewer all close the wetlands to the other to the project site. The wetland replication area is fully completed and growing well. So right now we are just waiting on the culvert, but it's going to be 8-week lead time. And so in the process, they have to review all the construction details, the rebar, how to manufacture it. That takes some time. So right now that is kind of finalized, but it will get us to the end of October to November. So therefore, otherwise we will be pretty much at the beginning of phase two. So which will allow us, the first one is trying to get the roadway prepared. So it's almost a perfect time. The weather is dry, groundwater is low. So if we can move that item 2 of to get the road to Station 21 area on the east, northeast half of the road, which was called for the early stage of phase 2. So we'll get the road phase to finish to subgrade and to bind the condition, it will greatly help when we're getting into the wet season to reduce the sediment source and erosion and the concerns. That roadway for storage, Basin 1 is already roughed in for sediment erosion control. So we're almost perfectly ready for that part if it's not the culvert delayed. So we would request respectfully or kindly that the board will consider, and which is not really uncommon during construction. So we move, so struggle a little bit on the construction. We are not asking for any release on house construction. It's basically to get the site more shored up and prepared better for the winter and springtime. So even though we have phase, but we don't really know when and exactly which part of the construction will happen. So it happened to be right now is the perfect time. I discussed that fully with the Bricker Line on this. So I think it is in line with our principle here to minimize the sediment erosion issue for the whole construction. And for quick also, we already added the second construction erosion control check dams with organic matters and the berms, as you will see on this, like a brown color, upgrading like about 15 to 20 feet upgrading of the perimeter erosion control. At this point, with all this construction activities, we almost have zero issues for the site at this point. So I will stop here and so Bricker Line, if I miss anything, you can. Another one is for the stockpile, but I can go that later on in the unit 40 to 44 area. So we already have a pile there, but it may increase that stockpile down the road, and we already have a double protection around that stockpile for condition 46. If we can approve that the stockpile can go to the second upper limit of the erosion control line, that will help us to free the stocking area in the center area for working maneuver. Thank you.
Yep. So 2 comments. What DeShang is referencing for condition 46 or 42 and the stockpile is that the commission has conditioned no stockpiles within the 25-foot no touch. So he's seeking relief from that because the erosion controls are within the 25-foot. So he is saying by moving the stockpile closer, there's still a barrier there between the stockpile and the wetland.
Okay.
And the only thing that has been missed is that the culvert is not installed.
So
This- the
DeShane,
crossing.
you just mentioned you didn't think the culvert would be ready until the end of October. I think I caught that in the early part of your commentary. Is that accurate to what you said?
Yes, that's correct. That's manufacturer giving us yesterday their estimated time.
What is the culvert made of? Is it RCP or,
Yes, reinforced concrete, yes.
and you gotta wait till October, huh?
So
Oh,
are your plans to wait until the culvert's installed in October to then extend the road to phase 2, right? Is that what we're talking about? Just want to be clear on how you're looking at the sequence of events relative to the culvert installation.
we look to, yeah, we would like to move the phase 2 for second item to this time because right now it's the perfect weather and it's dry. So if we can get that road in and with the sub base and the binders off with the drainage, everything, so we don't have to deal with that during the wet season. So while we are waiting on
So
the
you're looking to
culvert.
do the road now and the culvert later?
That's correct.
Okay, that's probably.
It's not we want to do that, we just have no,
I understand.
we-
That's probably a concern, right, to not have the culvert done, because that was kind of a priority.
sort of, we have like a big pipe there. We have rather than 12-inch, we have a 24-inch pipe for the bypassing and well protected. If there's any water coming in So hopefully the October is going to be a relatively dry. Normally will be relatively dry until to mid November.
So I guess the kind of the two salient questions, wants waiver to go ahead and get going with the road before the culvert's done, and wants to move stockpiles closer to the 25-foot no-touch. That's kind of
Within, yeah.
what's on the table. Okay, kind of toughies.
So, without the where in the hell's the culvert anyway? Right up there?
I think there's some plans on how that looks
Probably.
like.
Yeah, so this is where the crossing is.
So we're gonna build the road, attempt the road across without putting the culvert in until October. Is this a live waterway?
Yes.
What's the
There's
rate
water flowing in it now?
No, it's a bone dry.
right now?
And we do have like a 24-inch bypass pipe already installed with a Jersey barrier holding the temporary road.
You have a bypass culvert in already?
That's correct, temporary, that's what per the
So you've got a
condition.
temporary culvert in that you're gonna build the road over, and then you're gonna dig this temporary culvert out, and you're gonna put a new RCP one in October.
That's correct. So if that's it, or we do it now if we have it, but we don't have the material. So it's just
I understand you don't have the RCP, but you do have a temporary culvert in there. So if you
Correct.
build the road across it, you're gonna dig
Correct.
it back up. You got a temporary water bypass in there, so water won't build up and flood and cut the road in half. So at
Correct.
some point in time, you're gonna cut the new road that you just built and put in an RCP. What size RCP? Just out of curiosity.
12-foot span by
12 foot?
3 feet. Yeah.
12-foot diameter?
No, 12 foot like a box culvert.
That would be, oh my God.
It's got a bigger problem than you thought.
We're not driving the football.
So that's it. Oh, I see what you, okay. And what size temporary culvert do you have in there?
24-inch,
24-inch.
So it's
2-foot diameter,
one
which is
2 foot.
equivalent to the stream size
Well-
actually.
I don't think that's too much of a problem. I mean, if you all of a sudden got a freaking hurricane in here and we had more water than you can think about coming through there, the 24 ain't gonna take it. It's just gonna wash out your road. So,
But you're also saying estimated coming in October?
No, well, right now we already know they already in the production. They get all the construction detail plan all reviewed and everything is in the pipeline.
well, that's a
But
big
it
culvert. That's a good sized culvert. I can see why.
It's a big, yeah, it is. It is a big culvert to minimize the impact on the wetlands.
So what's the advantage of getting this road? You don't have a road there now and you want to put a road in right away.
No, we have the road, temporary road is with all the tree cleaning, everything was happening with all this road, you cannot happen. So even in the phase 1, that's what was allowed and was approved for that work. So means regardless the extension of the road, this thing is already done there. The sewer and the water is already crossed underneath, and the road is in a good sound condition. You can drive on it with a 10-wheeler or big truck. It's not a concern for the access. The one is we want to take into advantage of the dry weather to get the site to a more stabilized condition. So when we get into the wet season, we have a better site to have a less concern on sediment erosion control.
You're going to run the sidewalk across?
Site.
Site.
No, not sidewalk, just site, the construction work.
He wants to get the site ready. Put it that
Yeah,
way.
the site.
Yeah,
He wants to do all the site prep now, so instead of waiting for a month. When it's wet, that's the bottom line. That's what they want to do.
I don't have a real problem with it.
I mean, again, the bottom line is that if we have a weird storm or something.
Well, if you have a real weird storm,
Yeah, basically, what's the worst situation? The road is gonna wash out of it.
yeah, the 24 won't take it,
Yeah,
and she'll build up and you'll wash the road out.
Wash the road.
And that'll be a bad day, but you'll get over it.
Yeah,
By
based on
that
our
time, you'll be
analysis.
about ready to put that in, so maybe the water washout will have done you a little bit of excavation.
It is not good
That's a good
practice.
thinking.
When I did have
But it won't-
conversations with Deshang, it was so they could prepare to build houses. I would caution the commission on allowing something out of a phase that you've already approved twice over, that it may not be enforceable.
Come back later to make sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we said we are not going to build any houses out of the
Third permit
phase.
Modification, second or third. They're already talking about another one for expanding the culvert.
So,
What I would recommend is slowing down, regrouping, recalibrating, understanding what we're doing, so we can make more well-thought-out decisions.
what I don't really understand is, we need a variance to build the road. You can build the road all the way up to, I mean, where's,
They have a phased plan, though, that was approved by the conditions.
yeah.
That was put in place to allow for more conservative methods because of the nature of the site.
Yeah, it's a timing has been conditioned.
Yeah, if I may just quickly comment on the concern about the washout, we did a 100-year flood analysis. The stream, if you remember, there's very little flow even during the springtime. And so it's not exceeding, it will never exceed the 2 foot of culvert. The 12-foot culvert is not for the flow capacity purpose, it's mainly for the environmental wildlife habitat, that kind of concern. So we don't see any danger. And as we described in our letter, we are not proposing any, so they will need to pull any building permit that can be coordinated with the commission. So any house units will stay with the phased plan. We will not go beyond that. So the major real purpose, as explained here, is a win-win situation. We are making the area is already cleared. If we're waiting until the wet time and when the culvert is in, is wet time, there's no time limitation. We cannot do that part of road work in the order. So that means it's going to be much muckier site condition. It will be making the construction more vulnerable to erosion. So if we can get this, taking advantage of the dry weather, we get that road, just that section of it, which is already in the phase plan, we can clear it. We already cleared it. So it's just to my understanding or my professional opinion, any perspective, it's just much better setting to move into winter and springtime.
So we're assuming the next 7 weeks are gonna be bone dry in order to make this, right?
Well, then you're assuming that, he's assuming that whenever in October this thing comes in, the rainy season's all of a sudden gonna materialize
That's what I'm
on that.
saying, right?
You know,
So, just a couple notes that I took from from what you stated, sir. You mentioned that you want to get this next phase going on because it's going to get wet, and so it's better to do it right now at this point. But then, within that same sentence, it's like it's going to get wet, and then you're going to install this culvert at that time. So, depending on the water flow, depending on how these storms come about, you'd want this in place before the rainy season. I think traditionally it's like April and October is where most of our rain gets through, and
Yeah.
that's not counting hurricanes. And just a side note, growing up in Leominster, Massachusetts, they had that awful storm out there. Some places did, most of the areas did, a lot of, if not all of them got affected. So there's locations where maybe there was some mitigation, actually, did fare better. So this is one of these things, even during construction, maybe they can actually help prevent, a lot of this debris, things that are washing in, by installing this. So I think for me, it's just kind of seeing that I understand that you want to move quicker on this project and the phases, but at the same time, we're also looking at what you said as far as the rain, when the rain season comes in, and you're trying to get this done, but this is also something that I think you guys voted on earlier to have this in place for that.
That was the point. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of.
I agree. I don't think we need to, I think the phasing stands as the phasing is.
I'd really like to stick with the phasing and the, not getting the stockpiles. that
Yeah,
closer to
I agree.
25.
After
Agree.
listening to this, I don't think there's any reason to move it.
Does anybody have any contrary opinion? Cole?
No, I completely agree. I mean,
I think we're all of a consensus. Dusheng, I think everybody's of a consensus to leave it as it is and not permit yet another modification,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Appreciate you taking us through it, but
Yeah.
I'm just not comfortable with it, so, thank you. I don't think we need
Do
to,
we need to make a formal vote? or
no,
not? I don't
right,
think so,
just,
No.
Just
got a
a discussion.
They're just
consensus,
not-
so.
Yeah,
Yep, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
you're not changing the conditions.
Okay, so in case, unless we have anything further, yes, we can close this topic. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, okay, go on to the minutes. Has everybody read the minutes? I did not see anything.
I did.
Changes?
All good.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
Give you a motion to approve the minutes for, what? I don't have the thing in front of me, son.
For August 22.
August 20 through 24.
Okay, and second?
I'll second that.
Okay,
Vote to approve.
Approved.
Approve?
Approve.
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 okay, thank you very much. And then the last thing are the discussion items. We did not have any updates for Friends of Franklin, Master Plan Liaison update, or the Natural Resources Protection Manager update, right, correct? Yes?
I do have a few, actually.
Okay, thank God.
Cole had something I think she
Oh.
wanted to add to a discussion item.
Okay.
I did. So I read through the newsletter that was sent out from MAC, and there was an article in there, and it was talking about the city of Salem, how they put in these, they're called flexi paves.
Yes.
Yes, and it seemed like what it is, it's made of recycled tires and stone, and it's bonded together with a, not polyurethane, with a solvent. And what it allows is for runoff to be absorbed in the soil. It allows for trees, roots to breathe. And I just thought that Franklin, since we're, doing a lot of building and whatnot in the town, I thought it would be something nice to see if we could implement in the town, for builders to start, looking at and maybe requiring. I think it would be nice to take that to the town and to see.
So the material that she's talking about was actually demoed to us. So at the last environmental conference, the MAC environmental conference, one of the sessions was a field trip to an interesting and very modernized ecological site right next to Devon's, where it's basically an industrial park. But they've used like incredible. I mean, it was really fascinating. It was fantastic. I hope they do it again. And they made an entire parking lot of that type of material, which apparently works very well for traffic. And we were walking on it, and we were noticing like, wow, it's really like soft. It's like kind of like slightly smooshy. It's like, but they had a hose. And the guy was like throwing the water on the hose, and we just like soaked right in. It was actually very cool. Wow. So,
This is for roadway or parking areas?
Right, yeah, they were using it for
Water
roads.
just soaked right through
So
it.
it was really cool. It was like amazing, very, very, very advanced, yeah. I mean, this whole park was built like that. It was like the most modern stuff, like crazy. And, so we saw that in operation, it's very cool.
But the city of Salem, they have removed their sidewalks, some of their sidewalks, and they've replaced it with this material. Of course, they were able to do that with a grant, but
Right.
I don't know, I think that moving forward, and if we want to step into the future, I think that Franklin should really start looking at, you know, updating our infrastructure, and like I said, if we're having all of these, you know, that's a building boom that.
Sorry, we spent all our money on chairs.
But I think that maybe if we get the builders, you know, people coming into the town, maybe that's something we can start looking at for requirements.
How's it fit price-wise, do you know?
I tried looking
We did not.
online and I couldn't find anything.
Is it plowable?
Is it what?
Apparently,
If
yes,
it's a
they did.
sidewalk, you
Yeah, they
can
were
plow
plowing,
it.
they were plowing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were plowing.
And it's resistant to salts and different oils and.
It seemed like a kind of a miracle
It's-
surface, you know,
Yeah,
it's kind of
And
like,
plus
it
you're using
bonds-
up old tires.
Like Teflon, miracle.
yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it was cool.
Well,
Thanks,
I did
Louis.
look up the-
I'm glad you got that one.
The chemicals that they're using isn't
sounds
really,
good.
you know, it's not gonna
I thought it
leach
was
into
good.
the.
Do you mind?
It's really, it's incredible, and it can bond to metals, soils, organics, it's,
So maybe if we got some, projects with parking areas, then you could,
Like
that's-
Schmidt's Farm.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if, I don't know.
well, all I can say is, if at the next year's semi-annual conference, the one in Devon's, because we go back and forth between Holy Cross and Devon's, if they do this again, and I've highly recommended it, you guys really should go to the conference, just to take this tour, because it was incredibly cool.
Well, we should get some more information about it.
It was very cool.
It's good stuff.
Well, I can get the information, and I thought maybe we can construct a letter to the town, to the zoning board.
Yeah.
Oh, let's look and look.
I mean, I
Sounds
will
good.
put the work in.
Yeah, no, totally cool. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
They probably will actually be at the conference, by the way, for those of you who are going. They probably will be there's a pretty substantial number of vendors at this one, because it's not in the basement anymore, it's upstairs, so we have actually much more space. So we're getting more vendors, almost a double number of vendors than we had in previous meetings. So my guess is it probably. Speaking of which, I don't have really any updates from MAC, just to say, although, again, they finalized, and they do have the speaker finally, they do have the speaker. I don't remember who it was, but it was someone who followed. And it was shaking out to be a great conference, so.
Cool. Couple updates from me. I wanted to put a bug in your ear that if Concom wanted to do a fall event, now is probably the time to start planning. Me personally, as a department, so I'll be at Touch a Truck. Louis has volunteered to be with me, so we'll be there. And then as well, in the first or second week of October, I'll be hosting open houses for Schmitz and Maple Hill. Trying to hash out a venue for that, considering Maple Hill is largely inaccessible to large crowds. So unfortunately, the library is out, so I'm thinking the senior center. So,
Seems like a good place.
yes.
Yeah, they're very nice.
So we'll be presenting very, very draft concept plans, not ideas,
Yeah.
but trails, parking, you know, some notable items for each property to keep, like the barn at Schmidt's Farm. So this is an opportunity for anybody to come and provide feedback. More details on that, though, once I have it firmed up. So, very exciting. And then I have reached out to Beta for a quote for bylaws, which is good. I am appreciative of the help just for research in general, and they have a pretty large reach across Mass. So it's nice that they can source ideas from other towns. And then I did have a CRWA update. I thought I would, but I don't. So that's all I got.
Anyone have anything else? I think that's it.
You mentioned last time
Talk
about
these,
Maple Hill parking on bridle path versus?
Yes, thank you. I received more clarification on that. Thank you to those that have already provided me feedback. There's an individual looking to develop the parcel at the end of Kimberly right now, and they have offered they haven't really actually offered anything, but there was an idea floated about access. So once that, I believe it's a definitive plan, comes before planning board, then I will give that plan to all of you and you can provide feedback.
Could we actually host an event at Schmitz?
Yeah, that's what I was advocating for, but Beta has suggested doing a 2-for-1. But we could have oh, you're talking about your fall event?
Like having an actual event?
Yes, there's no parking, and there's,
Oh, there's no parking.
so this is the issue with it. I'm trying to get DPW to put down crushed gravel for a small unimproved parking lot, but it would only fit 5 cars.
Is there any way that we could actually invite people to come and set up booths and maybe bus them or shuttle them from one place to another or something, but they park someplace else?
Like they'd park at Grove Street and get
Yeah.
shuttled up to
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Then
You
you have
wanted to
the
pay
cost
the
of bus.
GATRA fees, I'm sure.
Well, yes, I know, but I mean,
I'm not being snarky, I'm
Yeah.
sure that would work.
Is there a big grassed area there?
Oh, there are 3 of them,
yeah.
Well, why can't you just
3 fields,
make a little driveway and let them park in the grass? No.
because it's behind, no.
Like,
No.
Doesn't work.
Respectfully, as the land manager of Schmitz Farm. Yeah, so there's, where the old house used to be is where the parking lot's going to be. I do not want residents to think that driving back into the hay fields that are currently being hayed is the
Yes.
acceptable place to go. So instead of encouraging that behavior to start, I would rather just keep people where they need to be.
Okay.
Can't we just have it in the center?
Center.
The little common?
The town common, I was gonna say the center of Schmitz Farm. You could, I mean, we could have it in the town common. Again, timing, weather, and then ease of setup and tear down. So if it was me, I want them to be outside, but I'm also working with our consultant. So it's not just, I've hired an external consultant to help with the parcel planning.
That's right.
So
So
they
how many
have
people do you
advocated
think
for
would
being
go to that?
inside.
How many people do you think would?
I don't
It's an
know.
impossible number.
Well, we turned it into.
You know,
an
to be
event for
honest,
kids.
they are sorry, what was that?
We turned it into an event for kids.
Yeah, so our consultant really wanted to put out a survey too, and Jamie and I are on the same page with this, that Franklin is surveyed to death.
Yes, that's true.
And we did an extensive amount of work for open space last year
Yep.
and master plan, and we have fresh current data. So,
Agreed. I
no
agree.
survey,
I
but we're
agree.
having an open
I
house.
agree.
So how many people are going to come in a roundabout way? I don't know,
Yeah.
because we already have had all this involvement, and I think people are tired.
So we have
But
a
I would love
party.
for people to
We
come.
We can do a big party, party at Schmitz,
Food trucks.
food trucks.
Food trucks,
Do food trucks.
booze trucks.
Can we
No,
come,
if people come for food trucks, man.
Woodstock.
can we combine the two?
Vans.
Schmitz and Maple Hill?
Vans. Keep it
No.
on the hill.
That's right.
I would not suggest that, only because this is a big, very different project separate from the commission.
So you're nixing Woodstock?
I'm nixing, he asked if we could combine the commission's fall event with the open house.
Oh, I got
And I said, no, because we're actually needing to get data from people. We need to introduce them to the, it's separate.
We could be infamous.
And not for nothing, I will be the one to tell you, but I believe Schmitz Farm is going to stay within council jurisdiction. There are 3 parcels, Bald Hill, I learned it was called Bald Hill, that are conservation jurisdiction. But because of my department being the conservation department, I'm the land planner for it. So you're not too far away, and I'll keep you posted on everything. But another reason why I think keeping it separate is good. Right. I mean this with all the respect in the world, but I don't want people not to come because I think it's a conservation event. Schmidt's Farm is open for everybody, and we need all manners of comments. And I think in Franklin, we've worked very hard at destigmatizing Conservation Commission, but I don't want people not to come because they think we're unapproachable.
Do they think that?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
There's,
we're a regulatory matter.
yes. So it's a different type of community setting. I would hope all of you would go and provide comment. I would definitely support and encourage that. It's not the same. It would be like town council saying it's a town council event, and I would tell them the same thing. No, it's not. It's not a town council event. And it's not necessarily a CPA or CPC event either, so respectfully. Yep. But next year you could probably host your event at Schmidt.
And I always think we could like hold our own little Franklin Tweeter Center, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, the barn's a priority to save.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, good acoustics, there you go. It's like rock out at the barn, build a barn,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, Jamie and Gus really want to have a bluegrass festival. That's the word on the street, so.
No, not bluegrass, no.
So, but more details on that when I have it firmed up. So, that's all I got.
Franklin Jazz.
Jazz, no, no, no.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Food trucks.
Yeah, Newport has nothing on us. Okay, all right. Anything else? I think that's it, guys. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second that?
Okay, everybody, aye.
Aye.
You guys.
Good job.